So we can see he did that with, I mean, of course, he made most of his money with like the Bored Apes, but then he got in the world of women, for example, so he bought like 1,000 and then he sold maybe around 500. He's still holding half of his collection there. So he knows that he still believes in a collection on the long run, but he kind of took his profit early. So to answer your question, is like you have the flippers and you have the collectors, and that's super interesting to distinguish between these people. And then we can talk about people who can try to manipulate the prices, but that's another question.
Yeah, we're going to get another threat for manipulation.
Yeah. So funny enough, whenever I see at gas going high, I know that there's an NFT collection coming. Just to add, I mean, you put it very well, Alexander. Just to add, there's one more category into this, and those are bots. So in essence, what happens is, and you guys can make out the bots because that wallet will come into existence very, very recently. Most of the bots, they are not that smart yet. So what will happen is a wallet will come in, and there will be a lot of flipping on a lot of NFT arts. And that's when you can say that something is wrong or something weird is going on. So yeah.
So say that I'm one of the lucky people in this audience who have purchased an NFT, and now I'm looking to realize some of my profits. What is the ideal window in which I should participate in flipping? And if I'm a holder, what are the things that I should continue monitoring in a project to determine that it's still going to hold its value? It still has some sort of community or interest behind it, that it's not just going to die by the time I want to exit my position.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I think we all have stories. I mean, if we're active in the world of NFTs, we'll have stories when we sold too early or we sold too late. I mean, that's the life of a trader. But I mean, you can really monitor the transaction and see when the people are aping in a collection, and most importantly, who are these people? Who are the market participants? Are they known for having generated profit in the past? So what's super important is to follow the wallet and understand their past performance and their behavior in playing with the NFT markets. So you can probably copy trade some of the biggest players, Mev Collector or Pranksy to name a few. These guys are like solid. And you can see they have like clearly a strategy, short-term, long-term, as we said before. But I would say, looking at just the transaction, it might be like 70%, it will take you 70% of the way. The rest is, what is the utility built in a community, right? Or is the community behind the NFT that is also a proof of membership, right? So what is the community building? What is the community creating? What do you get when you hold this NFT? Do you go to cool parties? Do you have like or other airdrops from other collections? Like, what do you get from this? And if there's a real work behind the scene, then it's probably like a good long-term investment, right?
Yep. I would say utility is definitely one thing you have to see. Utility can be both, whether it's about airdrop or whether it's about the art, what art it is and how special it is. And one thing I would emphasize on is the community. So if you look at community and if you look at their chatter, you'll feel whether the project is performing better than what is started or the project is dying down. So those two things I would say is one of my topmost priorities when I get into NFT. And of course, follow or ape in really cool NFT buyers or collectors. That always works. So yeah.
So here's another tricky question. So I've already bought this NFT, I've minted it. I'm looking to know when to sell it. You just answered that question. Now, if I have something that is unlike any other item out there, other than maybe I can get some idea from other items in this run of NFTs, how do I go about pricing it? How do I look at the characteristics and say this is a rare or this is a common NFT? And if I try selling it at the floor, which is the most reliable indicator of price, I'm probably leaving money on the table. So how would you go about that, Alex and Harsh?
Well, that's where you have to science the shit out of it, man. So that's interesting, right? Because like there's a lot of pumping on this operation. I'm sure Harsh will talk about this, where people are just buying their own NFT to kind of like rise the price. Classic trading strategy there. So it's important to look at the market participants. It's important to get rid of the outliers and look at what the mass is doing. Because the outliers, they will be there, they will be here to pump the stocks, or even like they will send, you will see some of the people like sending NFTs to famous collectors, but actually there's no purchase there, right? So I mean, we know the story of Vitalik receiving like all these tokens, right? And people are saying, oh my God, he's got like this token, it must be great. So on the NFT world is the same thing, right? So you have to distinguish between what is a sell, what is a buy, what is a mint, what is like a transfer, and then make sure that you can control for all the manipulations as well. So for example, we saw some transfer with a transfer of token as well. So it looks like a buy, it looks like a purchase. So we need to be able to filter that out as well. Yeah.
Got it. So, yeah, completely agree. What you have to see is the pattern NFT project is following. If you don't know or if you're unsure what price you want to sell at, then probably auctioning it and starting at a higher price might be a better way to make profits. Another thing, what you have to see is that most of the time, if an NFT project or an NFT artist is not performing well, then what happens is these NFTs, they are sold to each other. So a wallet will buy this NFT at a higher price and then sell it back to another wallet, thereby driving the price up. That's when auction really works. Of course, auction means that, you need to have communication layer built around it, but thankfully we are doing that. So yeah, I would say auction it, start with a high price, and you will probably have a very fair price for yourself.
So I heard you mention manipulation and wash trading when it comes to NFTs. What are some ways that you can look at some data and determine, oh, these transactions are spurious, or these transactions actually have real economic value behind them? And how can you actually use that to change your decision making? Because if I'm one of these people in the audience, I want to get an edge. Theoretically, it sounds nice that, oh, if you look at the transactions, you should know what's our buys, what are the transfers, what are the sells. But realistically, what tools am I supposed to be using, and how should I go about my process in determining the real pricing and the real activity behind a run?
Yeah, I'll say try to do your research on who are the right market participants you want to follow. So the guys who are actually making money in the field. So I'll go back to the Pranksy example, right? This guy is legit. He's making money in the market. If you find 10 other wallets, 10 other individuals, and you can label these wallets and you know who they are, you can see their behavior, you know that, okay, these guys will give you a good tradable insights, right, on what's happening. And then you kind of like remove all the noise around. And then you might figure out that another wallet is kind of actually making money week after week. You will find new market participants that are getting in, they have an edge on different collection, different style of NFTs, and then you add them in your watch list, and then you follow these guys. These guys will always give you like a good tradable insight, a good indication.
Yeah, so beyond Pranksy, do you have any other people that you'd recommend following that seem to have a good pulse on the NFT market?
Some of them are here, so I don't want to dox them. You recognize yourself. No, but for example, like Reese Witherspoon, right? So if she gets into, so you can find her wallet on Nansen, it's kind of easy, and set up an alert on what she does, because you know that she will tweet about it. And as soon as she tweets about it, the collection will pump. Is that a good collection, yes or no? That's for you to decide, right? And that's for you to see how fast you have to get out of this pump. But yeah, generally these people will be very vocal on Twitter when they buy an item, so you can figure out which wallets, and then in the future you can follow them and know that the collection will have a good upside, and then do your research and see how long the upside lasts.
Got it. Completely agree. Also try to use analytics like NFT analytics to try to weed out or try to find those buyers. Right now, that's the only way if you want to see something that's legit. I mean, the other way is a bit more hard, which is going to Etherscan, scanning for transactions, or going for minting, transfer and all. But analytics, they basically eliminate those things for you. So you as a user, you can go to analytics site for NFT and basically get all the filters, what Alex said, and you will be all good.
So a different thread here. Looking into the future, what do you see as some other interesting like financial derivatives or use cases for NFTs that you find really promising but just haven't been widely adopted or figured out just yet?
Got it, got it. So yeah, in the future, I still feel NFT, they are phase zero. I mean, that's really a contrary opinion, but I feel NFTs are more like what 2018 ICOs were, which means that they're really cool to have, but the underlying utility or the underlying innovation, just like DeFi came from 2018, that's still yet to be discovered. So I see that future to be there. I see a lot of projects coming with DeFi and NFT, which are working well. So yeah, I see that future. Another future I see is communication, which is what we are building. In essence, if you are an NFT buyer and you buy an NFT from a seller, of course you are more likely to buy from them when they launch a new NFT. But when they launch a new NFT, you as a wallet address, you are not notified. And therefore, this entire communication pattern is broken. So I think in the very near future, this communication pattern will be there. So it will be really cool for the NFT future and for the Web3 future overall.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I see like two things, right, from the top of my mind. So first is the utility. Again, it's like which subscription can you access when you log your wallet? I mean, it's just the Web3, right? So you log your wallet and then you can access to a whole part of the internet that will recognize your profile and recognize your identity.
So to clarify, you mean like authentication based on an NFT. So I go to a website, I can log in to some sort of service or access some sort of content using an NFT.
Yeah, you tap your phone, you get into parties, right? You get into VIP rooms, etc. But I see also like this new estates on the metaverse, right? So now suddenly you have your portfolio of assets on the metaverse that you can stake, you can borrow money from, and you can lend your assets. So suddenly, you can like remortgage your house, then you can remortgage your land on Sandbox, and suddenly, yeah, that's your new portfolio, right? So how do you assess the size of your portfolio, or do other DeFi application understands what's your assets across all different wallets, cross chains? I think again, data science here will help, and kind of like bringing all the wallets across multiple ecosystems will really help you extract value from your asset portfolio. Yeah.
So it sounds like more complex loan or borrowing instruments on top of NFTs is also where you see a lot of development happening.
Yeah, and really understand how can you present your estate to a DeFi app or to a bank, right? To say, okay, this is what I own, and this is what you can lend me at these conditions. And how do you gather all this data to have like a unified view of all your assets?
Yeah, one interesting thing on that tangent is I remember when they just started offering collateralized crypto loans, things like Celsius, things like what you'd see on Compound or Aave, and people at first were just like, why would you do that? Why would I lend $100 in Bitcoin to get $50 back? But there's two reasons that are interesting here. One is if you're a trader and you want leverage, if I want to keep compounding that and say if I want to go 4 or 5x long on Bitcoin, that's one way that you can do it without using any centralized intermediary by going through one of these protocols. And the second reason is because if you are an owner of an NFT or of an asset, if you sell it, you're incurring capital gains. However, if you take a loan against it, the tax consequences are much different. You don't actually have to pay, or you shouldn't at least in US jurisdictions pay taxes on that. So it is quite an important financial innovation to be able to take out loans against your crypto assets.
Yeah, and I would say on on-chain data analytics, right, for tax purpose, it's super interesting because if you know because I think in the US, most of you are from the US, guys, but you will have to probably report all your transactions, which can be fucking headache, right? So if someone helps you to kind of create an API that just like send to your accountant all your crypto transactions from the series of wallets you have, you don't have to do anything. Your accountant will have to do something, but I'm sure there will be applications that will be plugging directly to this API. So that's also a cool application. It might not be just with NFTs, right? But NFTs might protect you and might give you an idea with your accounting platform, etc. But yeah, that's also a nice consideration.
So that takes me on to another interesting topic, Alex. I'm not sure how much time we have left. So let's quickly talk about and close up. What are the barriers to adoption that you're seeing? Because I know that the accounting headache is definitely one of them. Whenever you're interacting with these weird DeFi protocols, knowing how to actually pay taxes and what kind of consequences that has is an inhibiting factor for a lot of people. But what other things are you seeing that are preventing huge adoption across many different classes of people that you see with other things like mobile phones or Facebook or social media?
Got it. So I would say the major friction point is UX and UI. Technology should be invisible. If you just think about it right now, if you go to internet or we do anything, we are interacting with so many protocols, HTTPS, SMTP, and so on. But we don't get to know about it. That's a major thing that Web3 needs to do. That's why we are very bullish on communication, and we are very bullish on user experience and user interface. And I think we are getting there. We are improving this a ton day by day. So yeah, I think adoption will only come when user doesn't see the barrier between Web 2 and Web 3. It's just as easy as that.
So 30 seconds, Alex. Barriers to adoption, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah. So barriers to adoption, I think, is not understanding what the data is saying, right? It's like being in front of like a huge mountain of so many people are telling you they're making money in that field, and then you feel like a dweeb, and it's like, where do I start, right? So maybe starting with good analytics and understanding where the flow of money is going and who are the market participants is a good start. So kind of like opening your eyes and have a bit more transparency.
All right, thank you very much, both of you. So this is Harsh from Ethereum push notifications. So native wallet notifications for the crypto world, and then Alex from Nansen, one of the best data providers for analyzing wallet trajectories and transactions on the blockchain. And I'm Mitchell from Crypto Briefing, the Crypto Natives publication. Thank you, everybody.